take a clean sheet of paper and write down goals and today's date, and then write down 10 goals that you would like to accomplish in the next 12 months. And write them in the present tense, almost like you're submitting an order. And just write down, I earn, I achieve, I weigh, I drive such and such a car, I own, whatever it happens to be, and the goals will be financial goals, family goals, physical goals, and so on. Write down 10. And then you take this list of 10, and you say, if I had a magic wand, and I could wave this magic wand, and I could have any one goal on my list within 24 hours, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on my life? Which one goal? And go over it. And usually this will jump out at you. And put a circle around that goal. And that's a goal you transfer to a clean sheet of paper, and then you follow the 7 steps. Write it down, set a deadline, make a list of everything you have to do to accomplish it, organize the list into a checklist, take action, and then do something every day. If you'll just do this simple exercise, then you'll all be rich. I'll be rich. Nothing can stop you but yourself. I'm going to show you the recipes and the formulas that you can use. And sometimes it just takes one choice. And remember, 87% of millionaires and billionaires are self-made. They started with nothing. And nobody's smarter than you, and nobody's better than you. If somebody else can do it, especially with all the disadvantages that many people start off with, if someone else can do it, you can do it as well. That's the proof. Abraham Lincoln once said that some become wealthy is proof that all can become wealthy. So I wanted to share with you what I call the 7 C's. So the first C is the C of clarity. Clarity is my favorite word in success. It's my favorite word in business. I have done consulting for more than 1,000 corporations, large companies worldwide, companies like IBM and General Motors and PepsiCo and Bank of America. I mean, big companies. And what I found is in every single situation, problems occur when the company becomes unclear about what it is they're doing or how it is they're doing it. Basically, it's clarity, lack of clarity. Now, here's something else I learned, and they did a study of 50 owners of companies, successful owners of companies like yourselves. And they asked them, what is the very best time management or business tool that you've ever discovered? 49 out of the 50 held up a yellow writing pad. Yellow writing pads. And this is what they did. This is how they planned their day. They made a list, to-do list. Today's date, they wrote down everything they had to do. They always work from a list. If you don't work from a list, it's very much like taking your hands off the wheel of your car going down a winding road in the mountains. What happens is your life's going to go up and you're instantly going to start doing irrelevant and unimportant and useless things. And at the end of the day, you'll be exhausted and you'll have accomplished nothing. The most powerful tool in the world is you, a pen, and a piece of paper. This is the greatest wealth creator in the world. The second C is the C of competence. And the C of competence says, it's very simple, is that you can only earn a lot of money if you're very good at what you do. And so one of the most important things you do is you break down your work into skills. And you say, what are the most important skills I need to have to be successful? And there's recruiting is a very important skill. Training is an important skill. Managing, motivating is an important skill. Leading, supervising, important skills. So what you do is you think, what are the skills that I will need to be in the top 10% of my field? You don't have to be in the top 1%. Just be in the top 10%, because there are no successful people who are not good at what they do. They are good at what they do, and they are good at what they do because they work at it all the time. Whether you're in sports or whether you're in music or chess or anything else. There's a wonderful study. Basically what it said was studying the most successful people is that these people spend far more hours becoming good at what they do than average people. The other people don't do it. And that everybody has natural abilities, but the ones who use those abilities transform themselves by really, really working hard at becoming good, one skill at a time. This is another thing that's really important. Don't try to be good at everything, because what happens is you just break down. You just overwhelm yourself and you'll just give up. And you say, oh, I tried that before. I had an experience, which I'll pass on to you. When I was a young man, I was in my 20s, and I was in sales, and I was in cold calling sales, knocking on doors every day. And I was making one or 2 sales a week. I was living in a little rooming house with a bed and a floor and a little bathroom, and I was struggling. I could tell you within $1 how much money I had in my world at that time, because it was less than $1. And I worked, get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be waiting at 8 o'clock in the morning when people came to work. I would knock on doors, office doors and business doors all day long. And then in the evenings, I'd go out and knock on homes and apartments. And I would make call after call after call. I made hundreds of calls and with no sales. The first year, I made more than 20,000 calls and only made a few sales. Just enough to survive. And then one day, I asked a question, which I'm going to help you with. As I said, of all the skills, what's holding me back more than anything else? And the answer was closing the sale, is that I couldn't get people to make a decision. So I made a decision. I still remember the time, date, place, sitting in my little rooming house when I decided I was going to learn how to become very good at closing sales. And I began to read everything I could find. I sent away 4 books. I did everything I could find to study the psychology and the techniques and methods of closing sales. In 1 year, my income went up 10 times. Changed my life forever. The third C is the C of concentration. And these are not necessarily in order, but in a way these are. The C of concentration is your ability to focus, which we've talked about before. It's your ability to focus single-mindedly on one thing at a time and to work on that one task until it's complete. And to discipline yourself not to do anything else or to become distracted by emails and bells and bips and noises and things like that. It's just your ability to focus like a laser beam on a single task. Start and finish your most important task. Number 4 is constraints. Between where you are today and where you want to be sometime in the future, a goal, is there is always one constraint or choke point that determines the speed at which you get from here to here. That's the constraint. So the art of life is to identify the constraints that are holding you back from achieving the goal that you want to achieve. So you say to yourself, all right, you want to achieve a particular goal. So you ask yourself, what is the one factor that determines the speed at which you achieve that goal? And don't try to change the world. Try to change one thing, one factor. Try to alleviate the one factor, and that'll change your whole life. It's unbelievable. So number 5 is continuous learning and development, is dedicate yourself to becoming better and better at what you do. It must be a part of your life. You must breathe in, breathe out, and learn new things. Self-made millionaires, self-made billionaires spend 60 to 90 minutes every day studying their field, reading new material. Warren Buffett was just relegated from number 3 to number 4, richest man in the world. And Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. He reads all the time, and he's one of the richest men in the history of the world. And he and his partners all say the same thing. You've got to read. Read and learn all the time. And one idea can make you rich. So just keep flooding your mind with new ideas. Number 6 is commitment. There's no success without commitment, without you putting your whole heart into what you're doing and putting your whole heart into what you're doing for a long time. But if you do, there is no limit on what you can accomplish. As you get up in the morning and you make a decision that, by gum, I am going to succeed in this business no matter how long it takes, no matter how many hours a day. And number 7 is courage. And courage, Winston Churchill said, courage is rightly considered the foremost of the virtues, for upon it all others depend. And in courage, what you have is 2 parts. The first part of courage is the courage to begin, to launch, to take a chance, to face failure and rejection, to try something with a very great possibility that you will fail and you'll feel embarrassed and upset and your self-esteem will go down and so on. But the second part of courage is persistence. It's the power to keep going and keep pushing yourself and driving yourself. A woman that I was going out with before I was married, she asked me, Brian, she said, what is your best quality? And I thought about that, and I said, I think my best quality is that I never give up. And I found that that's true, is I never give up. And my children never give up. It's not in our vocabulary. We never think, we'll try something different, we'll try something new, we'll take the losses and so on, but we'll never give up. So how do you develop this unshakable quality of persistence, which will guarantee your success in life? Nothing can stop you if you don't quit. If you don't quit, then the only alternative is you must succeed, and eventually you must succeed greatly. Well, the great rule, you become what you think about, but you become what you say to yourself. So what you do is you say to yourself these magic words. You say, I never give up. If you never give up, my promise to you, my guarantee to you, is that you are going to be an enormous success in the months and years ahead, and I hope you are. Thank you very much.